Welcome everyone to the second episode of the Insight Junction Podcast, where we share with you the amazing and insightful conversations with industry experts across different work sectors, where we uncover the real stories behind success, the challenges faced, and the lessons learned. I'm your co-host, Sophie Dixon, and I'm joined with
Jennifer Cool, your other co-host, and today we're joined by a very, very, very special guest, and someone you guys may be familiar with, DJ Neptune.
Yep, so just to give you guys a bit of backstory, DJ Neptune's story is quite an inspiring one. He is originally from Nigeria and he started his career back in 2001 in Lagos, where he grew up.
He also served as a DJ for Ray Power 100.5 FM from 2004 to 2010. He also won several awards for what he does. For example, he won the World DJ at the Nigeria Entertainment Awards in 2009. And in 2010, he secured Best Nigerian DJ at the Dynamics All Youth Awards and many, many more.
But let's not forget how he got there. He did go to university and in fact he obtained a degree in public administration from Lagos State University. But why should we have to tell you everything when you guys can hear everything directly from him?
Let's look at the conversation we had with him.
Okay, so I studied not in the University of Lagos, rather Lagos State University, which is the state university attached to Lagos State, where I grew up from. But originally, I'm from Edo State, but I was born and brought up in Lagos. So yeah, I attended Lagos State University, and I mean, in life, I feel like acquiring knowledge, education is very, very important, because regardless of whatever field you find yourself, you still need to understand what you're doing, the business angle of what you're trying to do, and so many other things. And this is where education comes in. You know, I mean, you can be street smart, which is also cool. You know, I encourage that. You know, but still, there's a level where your street smartness can get you through, that education would come in and play a bigger role. You know, so for me, and my parents, it was very, very important. As a matter of fact, it wasn't an easy journey, because when you tell your parent back in the days that you wanted to be an entertainer, you wanted to go into DJing, they just feel like, where did I go wrong? You just want to live a wayward life and all of that. But I mean, it took a lot to convince my folks, and especially my dad, because he wasn't having it at all. Because I mean, being a professional mechanical engineer who studied in the UK, I mean, his ideology of what he wanted for me was strictly school, forget side hobbies or whatever it is you think, or whatever talent you think you have. You know, you cannot flourish with that in life. It's just going to be education all through, you know. But I mean, times have changed, and I'm happy I followed my dreams, my heart desire, because I mean, I don't know what life would have been now if I didn't choose to be a DJ when I made that decision, even though it wasn't easy. But I knew at the back of my mind that I can't afford to fail, you know. So in all of that, acquiring knowledge, going to school and equipping myself was very, very important. And yeah, that's my advice I would give to anyone. Like, education is key.
Mm-hmm. And were there any specific lessons or skills from school that you still use in your career now?
Well, it still boils down to entertainment, to be honest, because I remember back then in high school, I used to be the guy who wanted to put the parties together, you know, tell my friends, don't worry, I got the music. Because what I used to do back in the days was record a lot of mixes on radio. You know, I wasn't even a DJ then, but something in me just told me there's something around entertainment that you might end up doing. So just keep this passion, nurture it, regardless of whatever anyone thinks. You never could tell, So I was the guy who was behind the music, making sure the party was jumping, and that played a major role when it was time for me to start developing my career as a DJ, because then I was already familiar with lots of music, sound. I already understood what a high pitch song is, a low pitch song is, and I'll tell you for free, me being a DJ today was more of like self-taught, acquired skills from listening to radio mixes, sitting down and analyzing how one song would blend into the other song, till I got the opportunity to be behind the decks, put all of that into play, and it felt like magic the first time I mixed. So, but yeah, I'm grateful.
No, that's great. I think for me, now that you're known as one of the biggest DJs in the world, what challenges have you had to overcome to get to now where you are?
So I tell people, life itself, it's full of challenges, regardless of whatever field you find yourself. So if I'm pushing and what I'm pushing at that moment is not forthcoming, my mentality is built differently. I just understand that probably that's not the right time. And 90% or rather 95% out of 100%, I'm always right, because that thing I'm pushing for at that right time comes back to locate me and works out perfectly, So I wouldn't say I let this come to me as a challenge, get discouraged and not chase my dream. But I just see it as a stepping stone to the next level, because my ideology about life, like I mentioned earlier, is full of challenges, So it's not just, even as a footballer as well, you train yourself, you're growing.
Yeah.
Your ideology is to play professional football, and then one day, God forbid, a bad injury befalls you, and then your career just goes like that.
Yeah.
That's just the challenges of life. But how you overcome these challenges is what matters the most. And for me, I don't get pressured. I just talk to myself, probably not the right time. Let's keep it going. Let's look for something else to get busy with. And if it's meant to be mine, it will be mine.
Okay.
Yeah. And what about on the flip side? What is your most fulfilling part of building something that's something that you call your own?
So for me, I feel fulfilled when I'm up there on stage, I'm walking into a space, and people are telling me like, oh my God, there's this mix you did, there's this single of yours that saw me through this certain period or this time in my life. Like, that just gives me joy, because to me, I see this as my own ministry. Music is a powerful tool. You're down this moment, a song comes on, it uplifts your spirit, and then your sorrows at that particular moment just escapes your mind, and being able to be behind the decks and play with thousands of music and affect people's life positively, regardless of whatever they are going, or regardless of whatever is happening to them at that particular time, just makes me feel fulfilled, especially when I get the feedbacks and all.
Yeah, and I mean, to keep success over a long time in the music industry will take more than just having good talent for what you do. So what decisions do you make to keep yourself known and relevant over the years?
But I know some DJs who see DJs of this new era, and I won't necessarily say downplay the talent, but constantly remind themselves like, oh, that's not the true act of DJing. You have to use the turntables, you have to use the vinyl.
Yeah.
But times have changed. You have to keep evolving, and this is something I've done over the years, because that's the only way you can still be in the business. The new social media platforms, there are new ways of getting yourself out there, building your community, expanding your brand. So you need to be open-minded and be ready to work with what is available at this day and age, and still keep yourself relevant and be in business. And that's just what I've done year in, year out. Sit down, have a review, what we've done last year, what we can do this year to better what we did last year and just keep growing and evolving from there.
And like, if you could go back in time and change one decision, it could be in your career, it could be in your personal life, what would it be and why?
To be honest, I don't think there's anything I would have loved to change, other than the fact that, I mean, my folks, especially my dad, wasn't really fully in support of my career, which is understandable because, I mean, I would understand as a parent in that era, you just feel like this is not profitable. There's no life out of this, you know.
Yeah.
But if I'm being honest, I would say I had my own fair share. I wouldn't necessarily say I was strong-headed, but I just knew something was going to come out of this, you know. So I left my comfort zone for 2 years. I was out there chasing my dreams, but I constantly reminded myself that I couldn't afford to fail.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, in all, there's nothing I would say I want to change because, I mean, life, everyone's got their own destiny, and I would say this is mine, and I'm just living my best life, having fun, traveling around the world, performing to people, getting paid, and nothing beats when you're earning money from something that gives you joy. You know, you just want to keep pushing. And yeah, I would just say life is beautiful. I'm grateful to God for the talent He placed in me and giving me the ability to discover the talent. Because obviously you can have all these things and without God's grace or anointing on you, it just feels like you're not doing anything, you know. So in all, I'm just grateful for life.
Yeah. And when I listen to your music, I always hear the word greatness. What does that word mean to you?
Greatness is a very, very prophetic, strong word. I remember I started putting out singles far back as 2010. And it was a build up to when I decided I wanted to start putting out albums. So my first album was in 2018. I was literally done with the songs and the album. We were mixing and mastering, and I still didn't have a title for the album. Now, this is something I do. I don't put myself under pressure. Still boiled down to time. It was just one lovely evening. I was tired from the studio, relaxing, just trying to take a power nap and then get back into the studio. And I heard that prophetic word, greatness. You're great. You've been doing great stuff. You're about to release this project. You know, it's going to be a great project and all. And I just woke up and the word was still stuck in my head. I went straight into my studio and just started hyping and yelling greatness across all the track. And I mean, who doesn't want to be great?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to do great stuff? You get me? So, like I said, it's a prophetic word that stuck to my brand. Because now, when I'm performing at places, sometimes people don't even go by my name, DJ Neptune. They'll say, "Oh, that's greatness," you know. So, yeah.
And speaking of your brand, what are your long-term goals for it and for your legacy in African music?
I mean, for now, we're still pushing the culture. It's a good time to be alive. Because far back as when I started like 2 decades ago, Afrobeat wasn't where it is right now.
Yeah.
In fact, we didn't have the luxury to play African music because, like I said, my era, I started with vinyl. Yeah, we had Nigerian music on vinyl, but those are like old tracks from like the Sonia days, the Fela Nicola Bokuti. But now, I mean, my era, we had like trendy music from like the Ja Rules, the Lil Bow Wow, the Missy Elliott, and all of that. And Afrobeat was just still finding its way into limelight. I mean, Afrobeat has always been there. Kudos to Fela, Nicola Bokuti, and everyone who played their part. But now we're gradually getting into the era of the Two Faces, the Bias, the Olumentines. The list is endless, you know. Mm-hmm. And the only available tool we had was to have their songs on CDs. You know, so blending songs from CDs, mixing it with vinyl was challenging, but that's where the real skill and act of DJing comes in because your brain is working 2/7 when you're calculating the mix before you put it out to the audience because it has to sound smooth. You know, but all that being said, it's crazy how now we just move around with laptops, travel less, we don't have to carry all the heavy gadgets, and we just go in and kill the show. So it's a good time, and also a good time for African music. And for me, when I want to eventually take a bow, I'm just going to be in the executive arm of the business. So I own my own record label called Neptune Records. I've got producers signed under that, pushing myself, or looking into signing talents very soon. And also I've got Sounds of Neptune, which is like a concept behind like rave parties, which is eventually going to grow into a festival. So those are like businesses I'm going to be handling, and then other businesses I have on the side as well. But definitely, I'll still be part of the music business in general.
I think now, as we're about to finish up, one of my questions is, even for me, as I'm trying to play professional for football, music was what you wanted to do from an early age. Was there ever something that interests you outside of music throughout your journey, or was it solely music?
So the funny part is, now you just mentioned you're trying to play professional football.
Yeah.
If not for music, I would have played professional football, because growing up, I was a good goalkeeper. I'm still a good goalkeeper, because now I just play for fun. I still have my kids and all of that. I meet up with my guys once in a while when I'm around. And it was going to be football or music, but music took the better part of me.
Yeah.
And now I just play football just to keep fit and all of that. So yeah, that was definitely something I decided I would have taken me out of music. And maybe, who knows, I'd have been playing for my favorite club in the world, Barcelona.
Yeah, and obviously you're such an inspiration, and I know there's so many young people out there who like Jaden, feel kind of lost or unsure about where they're going to go to next. So what's your advice for someone who's struggling to figure out their future?
I would say focus on the basic, and focus on the basic in the sense that do the right thing, equip yourself. I mean, if you got talent, nurture your talents, stay in school, because when you eventually arrive with this talent, you need to understand some certain things, the business part of it and all. And this is where education is going to come in and play a major role. So do the basic, grow with it, plan. Life sometimes can be funny. You might be planning to go right, and life itself takes you to the left side, So, but regardless of whatever it is, just play your part and let God finish the rest. But just make sure you are equipped, so when the right opportunity comes, you're ready to take over the world.
Okay, I think for me, my last question is just a curious question. How did you get the name DJ Neptune?
Everyone always asks this question. So Neptune was coined out from the producer Pharrell and his band group, Neptunes. And while I was still navigating my way around DJing, getting a brand name for myself, something that would stand out, something that would be unique, something that you would hear and want to know more about whoever is behind the brand. So I was always fond of playing a Busta Rhymes record. I can't remember the title now, but it was produced by the Neptunes, which is Pharrell and his band group. And I was always used to doing some crazy effects on the song, especially when it gets to the part where Busta Rhymes was bigging up the Neptunes. I would pick that part of the song, scratch it, do some speed work and all. And mind you, I didn't have a stage name then, but I wasn't bothered. I was just waiting for the right time. So some set of or group of guys who has been attending my parties, they walked into this particular party I was DJing at that evening, and then one of them just subconsciously, I want to say, mentioned, "Oh, this Neptune's guy is here. Now we're in for a treat." So I caught that word, and I was like, okay, there might be something I'm doing right that's making sense. So at the end of the day, I went home, I did my research, made sure there was no other DJ with that name, Neptunes, at least in my territory. And luckily for me, there was none with the name Neptunes in Nigeria, in Africa, in West Africa, like on the continent. Let me just use that. And So what I did was I took off the S because it was the Neptunes. And obviously, I'm not trying to have two Neptunes. So I took out the S. It could only be one Neptune. And that's how I ran off with the name. And then DJ Neptune just came to life.
Yeah.
So do you have any more?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I probably thought it was something from like Greek mythology or something.
So, I mean, like, now evolving with the name, I had to do more research. And obviously, I know there's a river goddess in Greece.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the name Neptune. And it's so funny because I've got like half sisters who, because my dad lived in the UK all his life before he decided to come back home to Nigeria. So I've got half sisters who are British and then from Greece as well. So there's still some networking somewhere around there. Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think that's all from our end. We'd just like to thank you for your time and for sharing your story.
And we
Thank
hope
you so much.
to continue DJing, obviously, and we wish you the best of luck.
All right, yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, to anyone who's gonna listen to this, I mean, big up to Sophie and Jaden. Big ups to you guys.
I think that was a great guest to have on the second episode of the podcast. Don't you agree, Sophie?
I would definitely say so. Should we recap what we learned from DJ Neptune?
Oh, for sure.
So, from today's amazing talk, we've learned that success isn't just about talent. It's about hustle, resilience, and staying true to your passion.
I 100% agree. We heard about how important it is to stay consistent, even when things aren't easy. And sometimes, the biggest challenges force you to level up.
Yeah, so he also reminded us how key it is to stay connected with your community, your audience, and your vision. It's not just about making it big, it's about making a real impact.
Oh, 100%. And one thing that really stuck with me was when he said to always stay adaptable, to be ready for change and not be scared of it. Growth doesn't happen inside your comfort zone.
100%. I remember when he said it's not just about chasing successes, but it's also about loving the journey. That really hit home.
Yeah, it's like you don't just wake up successful. You build it up step by step, mistake by mistake, and win by win.
Exactly. I felt like he left us with some truly inspiring advice. And honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better ending to this episode.
Oh, same here. But you know what would make it even better?
What?
I've been Jaden.
I've been Sophie. And we'll catch you at the next junction.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Insight Junction Podcast. We recommend you listen to more podcasts to learn more about different stories. Until next time.